Finally, the autopsy results for Dee Dee Blanchard have now been unsealed. Probably not what Gypsy Rose wanted. And all I'm going to say is, oh dear, Gypsy. Oh dear, this does not look good for you. So I'm going to jump straight into the autopsy for you guys. I'm not going to mess around. And then you can make your own decision about what your thoughts are on this case and on Gypsy. Maybe this will change your mind if you were a wholeheartedly Gypsy supporter. Maybe it won't. So I'm going to be reading these from the report. So prior to her death, Claudine Blanchard had lived with her daughter in a residence in Springfield, Missouri. After the neighbours reported to the Greene County Sheriff's Office that both women were missing, a search warrant was obtained and deputies entered the Blanchards' residence on June the 14th, 2015. Miss Claudine Blanchard was found lying prone in her bed and there was obvious signs of death, so no resuscitation efforts were commenced, and Claudine Blanchard was pronounced dead at the scene at 3:13 p.m. on June 14th in 2015. The Greene County Medical Death Investigator was called to the scene and reported that Claudine had incised wounds of the neck, multiple stab wounds of the back and torso. Medical records dated June the 2nd, 2015 indicated that the decedent had a past medical history of asthma, gastroesophageal reflux disease, thyroid disease, diabetes, headache, hyperlipidemia, and endometrial cancer. She had had surgical history of hernia repair, appendectomy, tonsillectomy, hysterectomy, and cholecystectomy. I'm not sure if I pronounced that right. I probably did. And her prescription medications were not listed in the medical record. It was reported that the medications at the scene were collected by the Greene County Sheriff's Office. Oh, Gypsy. Now, there were 17 stab wounds, 13 of which were in the upper and mid of Dee Dee's back. Now, samples of the vitreous fluid, pericardial cavity blood and liver were submitted to the St. Louis University Forensic Toxicology Laboratory for toxicological screen and analysis, and the toxicology screening of the blood was negative for any substance, drugs in her system. No alcohol was detected in the blood. So they gave a summary of their findings. An adult female in the early state of decomposition, multiple 17 stab wounds to the back of the neck, chest and neck, 6 wounds penetrating to the chest cavities, injuries of the upper and lower lobes of the left lung, injuries of the upper and lower lobes of the right lung, perforating injury of the posterior wall of the left atrium of the heart, hemopericardium, bilateral hemothoracis. 2 of the stab wounds pass through the right pleural cavity and penetrate the liver. 2 of the stab wounds of the back of the neck at the base of the skull, visceral pallor due to blood loss, multiple incised wounds of the neck, deep wounds transversely across the back of the neck, 7 1/8 of an inch at the length of the skin surface, and it penetrates up to 3 inches to the end of the spine. Obliquely on the right side of the neck, inferior to the lower jaw, a 4 1/4 inches in length on the skin surface, and was produced by at least 2 cutting motions. Penetration of 3 1/4 inches to the end of the spine. Multiple parallel superficial wounds right to the right side of the neck, 1 incised wound on the back and forefootage of the left hand. They say obviously that Dee Dee was obese. She was 255 pounds on a 5'2" frame. Now, apparently remote surgical absence of the appendix, gallbladder, uterus, ovaries, and fallopian tubes. She had an enlarged heart and steatopatitis and hepatic fibrosis, and as we said, negative for the toxicology guys. There was some more descriptions about the depth and stuff on the injuries, but I'll go through that when I talk about this on my live. But I wanted to give you the summary. Gypsy, your mum was in a really bad way. I think you probably might need to go and get some explaining done here, because I don't think you're telling the full truth. I never have thought you were telling the whole truth, but I don't think you're telling the whole truth. And this autopsy is not going to look good for you. Isn't looking good for you. Dee Dee went through a horrendous unaliving, right? Her death was barbaric. And even if any of the Munchausen's by proxy was true, which we know there is a lot of holes in that story, so a lot of opinions and a lot of alleged opinions say that those things didn't happen, and it's alleged that a lot of the stuff that Gypsy had procedure-wise was the stuff that she needed. And let's not forget, she also has that micro deletion. But even if, let's just say, Dee Dee did have Munchausen's by proxy, she didn't deserve that, right? There's ways to deal with people if they are committing crimes. And let's not forget how old Gypsy was when this happened. So let me know your thoughts, and I will keep you posted if we get any more information or any other updates on this. Bye, guys.